on and play it a little bit if you guys want to. I can tell you what I'm doing. I'll be like, I'm running forward.
That would
and I'm
actually be
shooting
really
the gun.
cool.
That
would actually be really cool, yeah.
Yeah, no, we have us and Sony employees and some selected people are like the first invites to the testing, so everyone has it now on their PlayStations. We used to only play it at the office, but we have it at home now, so that's pretty cool.
Some
what was the
selected
question?
people. How am I not one of those selected people?
It's like the first wave. It's Sony employees, CCP employees, like family members, stuff like that. But we're getting there, and it's pretty fucking cool. But what was the question? I completely forgot.
Who is the best player at CCP /
Yeah, all right. So I don't want to brag, but we did have an inter-office competition where everyone had to form teams and play, and of course my team won. It was a pro team. There was no fun allowed. Allowed to laugh. It was all about the KD ratio, and we pretty much absolutely mauled everyone. And then we took the cash prize and threw a party for everyone.
Now, I've had some employees at CCP who remain unnamed describe Dust 514 as like World of Tanks but an FPS. Is World of Tanks as good or better than World of Tanks?
Well, I mean, they're two very different games.
They are two very different games. That's
an
excellent answer.
That person might have been slightly drunk, but I mean, it's a shooter. It's a different kind of shooter. I mean, it's different in that it ties into Eve. It's different that you fit your character like you fit your spaceship. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's different, but fundamentally, it is an FPS game. And
I think that's cool. I think that's cool the way you like. I assume the some sort of tier system or whatever. CSM haven't even played it. We're gagging to play it, but we haven't touched it. But yeah, I think working that stuff in could be actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and having the whole, like, you're used to fitting shields and armor and all that stuff, and that goes into the game as well, and you kind of customize your role instead of selecting, like, sniper, you fit your guy. All that stuff's kind of cool, and the whole kind of finality of dying, like, it's not like Counter-Strike where you buy a weapon every round. You kind of come into a match with 100 assault rifles, and every time you die, you lose one. And that's it's very Eve-ish. It's basically if you imagine Eve Online was a shooter, strangely enough.
So now, if you run out of those 100 rifles, do you just sort of spawn and then have to, like, punch people in the face like you're in noob ship, or what happens then?
Yeah, we basically give you a shovel.
That sounds excellent.
That's not actually true. You have like a newbie frigate-ish setup that you can always use.
Oh, okay.
And it's not too bad. I mean, I've owned people, but I'm pretty amazing. So.
But you just have the skills to do that. So
that's the thing.
What's the vehicle gameplay like?
It's pretty awesome.
Tanks and stuff in the trailers. So
yeah. You buy vehicles and you customize them in the same way that you do ships. So you'll have your buggy and you can put like an assault weapon or a rocket launcher, and just kind of you build your vehicles, and then you kind of at opportune times you'll have them like dropped from space, so they'll kind
you
of
have
like
your builds settled in advance, right? So you're not having to dick around with.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You'll have your standard save builds basically.
And you don't always get to start with a tank, like that comes in like mid-round if you build the appropriate base upgrade or something.
I don't actually remember how the exact mechanic is because we're testing right now, and I don't know how that's going to be. But I mean, I assume that it'll be at some point you can choose to do it either all the time if you have it available, or through some mechanism. But basically, just like drop some vehicles down, jump into them, shoot some bitches.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Tribes Ascend recently because that's
it's kind of fun actually.
Yeah, I had never played Tribes or Tribes 2, but a lot of my friends here in Wisconsin are old Tribes vets, and so Test and Goodstorm have been playing a lot of that, chucking frisbees at people. And the dynamic gameplay of having base defense and having some vehicles as well as multiple classes and loadouts is quite intriguing.
Now,
I'll tell you what though, because I've been playing it, and they have a worse and uglier UI than we do, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it's very. Tribes Ascend is very, very like beta at the moment, very much so, and has the matchmaking. It's hilariously fun. I've lost like 10 or 15 hours of my life in the last 3 days playing Tribes. So in theory, I'm supposed to be managing a space empire. God only knows.
With Dust, you said you've got vehicles, and of course we have the 4 base factions in our game, and you know, Amar, Galente, blah blah blah. So are Galente vehicles? Can you fit blasters on them? Do you fit rails on them? Do you know what I mean? Small miniature versions of them, obviously. But are you sort of keeping that continuous sort of theme on the way down as well?
I can't tell you specifics, but the racial differences will be there.
Now, for Dust 514, because obviously it's 32 players on 32 or 24 on 24.
I don't know if we've made public the exact map numbers.
Okay. Is it going to be, you think, the purview for Elite PvP? Because suddenly, a small alliance with 24 really good players can beat Goonswarm in a straight-up fight. Do you think that...
I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. Like, I think there's people that are going to be really good at it that'll carve their niche as, like, being really fucking good at it, but, I mean, it's not going to be, like, about getting 6 guys together and beating a 5,000-man alliance. That's not really the purpose of it. Yeah.
Do you think
of course
that
you'll have...
CCP Soundwave's alt character will be widely known amongst players? Not exactly as CCP, but as somebody who owns everyone.
I'm going to be known as the guy who nukes his own team from orbit quite a lot.
Have we made public the level of depth between the interaction between Dust and Eve, or is that something we're still vague on?
That's something we'll be vague on for a little while.
Do you think that's going to be a topic of interest for the next CSM?
Yes, it's going to be a topic of interest for the next CSM, but certainly also for FanFest.
Ah, for FanFest. So there'll be like a roundtable or something like that?
I mean, you know, I'd be surprised if we don't give away quite a lot of information. I mean, you know, the game's coming out this year, and if you want to do big announcements, why not do it at FanFest?
Excellent. So do you think the private trials, the Mordu's private trials, will be released, the beta, before FanFest or during FanFest or after?
Oh, that I just don't like. I mean, that's like something that I'm not really kept that much in the loop of. I don't actually care that much. I mean, like, if they don't tell me, hey, we're going to release that stage of the beta next week, I mean,
Alright. Now, let's get back to EVE Online, because that's the game we all play. So there's the recent Russian Civil War, and there's the supposed incursion into Goon space, possibly a perceived headshot of VFK on the way by Raid and Dot and other members. Let's talk to Mittani about that. I want to hear more about that.
Oh dear, we're talking about MySpace politics. I'm not really sure what you want to know about that. We took Branch, we killed White Noise, they caved in like a rotten melon because there was lots of internal problems with White Noise that actually had nothing to do with Goonswarm. So Branch fell, we grinded a lot of structures to take it over, and now we're in sort of there's a reaction to that. Raiden, who are made up of some of our old foes and Band of Brothers, are very angry because they live in Tenal, which is right next to Branch. So they have been trying to gather absolutely every ally that they can, and have been going after the newly captured moons that used to be White Noises in Branch. There has been no real solid action yet. I think that the discussions of headshots are overstated. You know, a premature headshot is one of the most foolish mistakes that an alliance can make. It's sort of an amateur hour thing. Because normally speaking, if you're not ready to go for the kill, the alliance on the receiving end has a massive form up, wins, and then overpowers you, which is what happened the last time somebody tried to go after BFK. Raiden evacuated most of their assets from Tenal to Veil of the Silent and Venal, and so they're basically just messing with us. I suspect that if we keep shedding, if we lose lots and lots of fleets and we show weakness, it could escalate into an invasion. But it's been fairly back and forth. We had a good day yesterday. Mr. V annihilated an initiative fleet. We took out a Raiden Nyx. We saved all the towers that Raiden had been sieging, and we killed a Raiden Tinga fleet. Before that, the day before, we had a bad day. DBRB and an allied FC whelped an alpha fleet. It's just sort of back and forth. I think that describing it as a, it's definitely a war. But saying, "Oh my God, it's a VFK headshot," is hyperbole.
Now, many people, while we're talking about Eve, many people know you CCP Soundwave as the lead game designer flying in space. But before you were lead game designer, you were a very active Eve player. You did the Alliance tournament and things like that, and Alliance panels and things like that. So you actually have a wide base of 0-0 experience as a member of Goonswarm before you joined Eve. What do you actually play? Now, everyone knows members of CCP have alt characters that they can't announce, can't publicly declare. Can you talk about what you're involved in now as a player of EVE Online versus a dev?
Ish. I mean, I can't tell you my character name or but I mean, I've been in wormholes for the past 6 to 8 months, probably. Probably. I moved out of 0.0 about then.
That sounds interesting. So now, people have been clamoring for sort of like being able to change your T3 modules in wormhole space and things like that. And wormhole space is actually like amazingly populated, if I'm understanding that correct, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
So like, do you think that your experience and other CCP devs' experience in EVE Online through their alt characters that are unannounced, obviously, because of past controversy and things like that, affects in some way their ability to diagnose what needs to be done and changed within the EVE Online game?
Yes. Look at all the changes that CCP Punturis, that some of you guys know, she's a UI programmer with CCP. A lot of the changes she makes comes from her, through her experiences playing the game, and she's quite active, and it definitely helps. I mean, when we started doing the little things about a year ago, I played quite a lot. I kind of binge, like I'll play quite a lot and then I'll play not so much and then I'll play quite a lot, and I can definitely feel that the expansions that I'm the most happy with is the ones where I've just sat down and gone like, this is awful, this is awful, this is awful, and let's just change it.
Exactly. Now, a little off subject, but CCP Puncturin, since her most recent video dev blog, as I've understood, been receiving things like flowers and chocolates from players of EVE Online at the CCP headquarters. Can you elaborate a little on that?
She receives a lot of creepy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking shameful. Katrin is a drinking buddy. She's not, you know...
She doesn't actually drink.
Yeah, she doesn't actually drink, but she hangs out in bars, and she's basically one of the boys. Yeah. And, you know, when I saw that video, I mean, you know, I met Katrin a while ago, and we usually end up hanging out when we're up there. And the thing that's disturbing about the internet is, first of all, in that video, she looked exhausted and frumpy as hell. Like, not her normal self. She looked like she hadn't slept in like 30 hours. And she was sort of zoned out. I'm like, wow, she looks like shit. And then you have all these birds like freaking out, going, oh my god, it's a pretty Icelandic girl that plays Eve. And they know nothing about who Katrin actually is. And they basically just project all this creepy stuff on the image of her, and then I don't know. It's very like it's creepy.
You know what? She gets a lot of stuff. Like, some people send her stuff, and that's all right. But she also gets some really creepy messages, and I don't really know. I think the only thing more creepy was the bag that someone sent you, I believe, to take to me.
Oh yeah, that was that was a great one. That was where members of Whitetree's Alliance, ESG, came in a bag, a Ziploc bag that contained of CCP Soundwave multiple times.
Did you bring the bag?
No,
Did you actually carry a bag full of semen to...
I did not take it with me.
Postal Services didn't take it.
Hello.
There were some problems with transporting biological materials to the U.S. Postal Service. So,
Turns out you just can't come into a bag for a month and send it somewhere.
But now, okay. Now, CCP Puncturin, by the way, is, in personality-wise, I would describe as like a quieter Darius Johnson trapped in a female's body. Do people agree on that? That's how I would describe her.
That's not entirely wrong.
Yeah, I would say that she's extremely snarky and she's very quiet, but she has I'm quite pleased with her cruel streak when she shows that she has